Hi everyone, this is Jess, aka Sketchwriter Jess. Today is mental health check-in because it's Monday for me and it's Mental Health Monday. Um, I used to do tarot spreads on Monday, but I've decided to just do this instead because I feel like um, I think when it comes to mental health, I think it's kind of serious, and I see tarot as something it can give you insight into your life and it can help you make decisions and stuff, but I don't see it as like something that's really a serious thing, I guess. Although sometimes you can gain wisdom, like if you do a special spread or something, you can gain some wisdom from it. So on Wednesdays, I'm still doing tarot readings then too, so I'll probably be doing more of the wisdom type stuff, and writing things once in a while. Writers' spreads. Okay, so let's move on. Um, Today I am talking about knitting and I'm going to be discussing books, mostly books. Books that I've read and books that I'm reading. Um, in fact, it's going to be more like books that talking about the books I've read and why I liked reading them, and then I'll show you the ones I'm reading. On the blog, I'll be posting some articles about the books that I've read. So it's just going to be a thing for me. I want to add some variety to the blog. Right now it's all tarot, and tarot is wonderful. I love it. However, there needs to be some variety, and I'll get more into that as I talk about the books. So first, knitting, and this will be real short. I finished my hat. This is my own pattern, and like it's finished at the top with sewing. It's knitted. This is like what it looks like from the back, and I love it. I made it with Marlboro yarn, and it's like superwash merino. I held two yarns together. One was a sock weight, and the other one was more of like a DK or sport weight, I guess. And I held them together, and I was able to use size 8 needles to work on it. DPNs, double pointed needles. And I really enjoy the process a lot. Um, I'm definitely going to make more hats. I've been thinking of making some hats for the shop, but I'm not sure I'm good enough at it yet. It's like, I want to get it down to a science where I know, like, I can make sure I can charge you guys the best price instead of charging you for, like, my slow price because it's new still, it takes me longer to do it. But there's things that I've learned, like when I worked for somebody once. I worked typing labels for somebody, and when I started out, it took me like 8 hours to do one sheet. Oh no, it wasn't one sheet. It was like more like 10 or so sheets of labels, and then I got better at it, and it went down to like 3 hours. So I mean, it's possible to do anything, I think, and get faster. But not only faster, but more efficient and less mistakes. So, I don't want to put anything in the shop until probably, the hats, until maybe around August or September. That's when people buy them anyways. They're not going to buy them in the summer. Unless you live down here in Florida. Apparently there are people wearing caps everywhere. I just haven't seen them. But, anyways, making some scarves. I'll be showing those next time. And I like to use a variety of yarns. I'm not a yarn snob. I use Red Heart sometimes. Like I used Red Heart. Let me get it. I used Red Heart for this one. This is the twin flame hat, and it's got like this little bit at the top. It's like the same pattern as this, but it's not sewn at the top. And this is what it looks like in the back. And see how it kind of it like spirals a little bit. And then this one is done with, a Craft Smart yarn by Michaels. Now this one I didn't do on DPNs. I did it with the magic loop, and as you can see, I got some ladders in there, like on the sides, where you have the loop and you're turning. So that's why I'm using DPNs now, because I've decided that I don't want those ladders. And I don't really know how to do it without the ladders, and frankly, I like doing it on the DPN, so why change it, right? Took about the same amount of time anyways. But yeah, this one's funny because it has like this little bit at the top. It's kind of cute. But I use Craft Smart for that, and that's Michael's brand. And then I guess I'll show you a couple more I've done. Okay, so first one I'll show you is this one. This, look at my hair. This is a knitted cap. It's done in garter stitch. It's like a long scarf, and then you just gather it at the top. I think the next time I do it, I'm going to make some short rows, just so it's a little easier to gather at the top. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. And you just, put in the different stripes. So what's cool about this one, you can turn it different ways and wear it, different ways. I mean, this is another one that'd be great in the shop. I think people really like this. And this is made with cotton. And these I probably could put in the shop sooner because they're pretty easy to make. And you have to add some short rows, but really they're not that hard to make. So this is what it looks like in the back. Then, and I will put on one of these, probably the first one I showed you for the rest of the video, so you don't have to see my hat head. This one is made from Solo. I knitted this one flat and then seamed it up the back. And I think this is where the seam is. You can't really see it that much. But yeah, it's in here. You see that? And I wanted to try a seed stitch, and I figured it would make more sense to do it if I did it flat. This is a hat. I made it with Solo. I believe it's Solo and like another wool of some sort. I don't know. Maybe it's something fancy. I have no idea. Solo is by Noro. I put the little Sketchwriter Jess logo. I was like trying to be cool, but like a little logo on it, But like if I sell them in my shop, I'm not gonna put a logo on them. I may put a little tag in the back that has the logo, like inside it. You can keep it or get rid of it. It doesn't matter. But it's really about you, like it shouldn't be about the person who makes it. You don't have to be a walking advertisement for somebody. Word of mouth is better anyways, right? Somebody asks about it and you tell them, and you shine. It's not about the brand. So if I make these, don't worry, they're not going to have a logo on them. And then the last one I'm going to show you for today is one that I made years ago. I've made a couple of these, and people have actually asked for a pattern. And I call this hat the Sporgy hat. Now, I didn't know that Sporgy is actually sports orgy. So, like, I had to spell it in a way that didn't look like sporgy, like a sports orgy. So this is fun. This is a fun hat. This is another one that was knitted flat, and then you turn it around and you can pull it through the loop. You pull the tassel through the loop. Come on. Don't got all day. We're all night, I guess. I'm taping this at night. Let's see. So it looks really cool in the front. And this is what it looks like in the back. You can kind of see. Like falls a little bit. I may have to fix that somehow, but see, it's kind of cute. This one's made with Solo and some kind of something special, some kind of handmade, hand spun, hand dyed yarn on the bottom. Got from a hand dyer, like a small mom and pop dyer. So, that's those. I'm gonna put this one back on. I love this one. This is my favorite. I love it because it fits so nice. And plus, the wool makes it cozy. And like with acrylic, like it can be stiff. If you wash it and wash it with fabric softener, the acrylic, it's supposed to be better. Like it's supposed to soften up a little bit, but I usually don't block many of my items. It's rare that I block things. I know I need to because then it fits better, but I don't want to block this. I just love how it feels the way it is. So, that's I think that's it for the knitting. I mean, I'm making some hats. I'm making scarves. I'm thinking of like writing some patterns, but I feel like the best way to do it is to is to do the pattern, like have it in my head lots of times and then remember it, because that's how I know it's a good pattern. If it's something I have to constantly look at to see how to do it, then I feel like it's not a bad pattern, but it's not what I'm going for. Like when I think of things to knit, I like to knit things that are simple. So anything that's simple, even crochet too. When I do crochet, I like simple things. I'm not really into the major fancy stuff. I mean, there are times when I really want to do something fancy, and then I go, "What am I going to do with that?" Like, really, where am I going to go dressed in that? Like, and all the fancy things I want to make that are like dresses and stuff, I don't want to make that until I get to a weight where I feel like I'm at the weight I want. That's another thing I think I need to talk about too. I'll talk about it, I guess. I'll talk about it on here because, since I brought up the knitting, um, a lot of people, when they lose weight, what they like to do is knit or crochet. And they do this because it keeps them from eating, like keeps them from snacking a lot and stuff. And I have found it's helped me. When I was first diagnosed with my mental illness, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, unspecified. I didn't know which one it was yet. Um, I was put on a few drugs, and one of them made me gain lots of weight. And it also caused me to get type 2 diabetes. I went from having a blood sugar of 91 and being 165 pounds to having blood sugars over 200 and being 190 something. 193, 194. One time even 200. 202 was the highest, I think. And I'm only 5'2", so I mean that's a lot of weight. I was 196 earlier in the year, and now I'm at 190. So I'm really happy to have gotten rid of those pounds. I've had to diet a lot. I had to really cut back on a lot of the things that I really enjoy eating. Um, and so I've been seeing a nutritionist, and she's been helping, and that I recommend, like, if you can do that, um, I would say it's worth it. Um, Now, my nutritionist is, I'm on disability, so the state helps, they pay for that for me. Um, but I would say, like, if you can afford it, if you're not on disability, if you can afford it, I would say at least go to one time to see a nutritionist and just hear what they have to say. But also make sure they tell you some good ideas like recipes and stuff. Or they tell you at least where you can find recipes. I've had nutritionists also supplied by the state when I lived in Virginia that really were not helpful at all. I mean, they would talk about like how many carbs you can have. They would talk about, like, oh, you can have this many fruits or whatever, like you can have this many things, but they would never have any recipes or anything. And they couldn't figure out why I wasn't losing weight. Well, I had no guidance, but I didn't have the energy, I guess, at the time, or the right mind to really speak up and say, hey, you need to give me some direction here. Like, I keep bringing up, hey, I want to eat this, and you're saying no. And it was things like rice and beans. It wasn't something like, fried chicken or something like that. I mean, it wasn't anything that out of the ballpark. I was trying to lose weight. But anyways, now I'm losing weight. And I finally got a new doctor. My insurance had cut off the other doctor, so I had to get a new one. But it all works out. The universe helps. It just I'm I'm okay with it all now. Um, so I won't talk about that because I just wanted to get that out there that if you've gained weight on if you've gained weight on any pills, make sure you go to a nutritionist. Um, that seems to be the best way to get information about how to take care of losing weight. Um, that's really all I can say because a doctor knows things, but they're not going to really be able to direct you in the right place to get what you need. And I mean, I just the difference in how I feel is amazing. I mean, like I've cut things out, like I have cut out cake and stuff like that. I do eat cookies sometimes, and I've decided to bring back cookies into the house because I just take the serving size. I don't like sit there and eat a whole bunch of them. There are other things though where I can't do that, like potato chips or snacks, pretzels. I can't have those in the house because I don't take the serving size. I'll eat the whole damn thing. I'll eat half the bag or something. Not only that, they make me gain weight. So those kinds of things don't work. And if you're a diabetic, I mean, it really makes you gain weight, drives your blood sugar up. Let me tell you, I had like mashed potatoes whenever I go out to eat. I'd have mashed potatoes and chicken and broccoli, and I thought the mashed potatoes were fine. But it turned out it was like what was making me gain weight and making my blood sugar go up. So if you eat potatoes, like eat them once in a while, not like all the time. So that's it. Really, it is. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Now for the interesting stuff. Books. Here's something that I get nervous to talk about because I always wonder what people are going to think when I say something, when I talk about, I when I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder, I found it extremely difficult to read books once they put me in all the medicines. Like it took me like 3 years to read one book. And now I can read at least a book a month. It depends on what kind of book. If it's fiction, it takes me at least 3 months to read. Fiction is just really difficult for me to process. And I have to put it down. I get very emotional. So, like, I can't read it all in one go. If it's some kind of nonfiction book, I'm able to read that real quick, like in a week or even a couple days. But like when I first got diagnosed like 3 years ago, I mean, for the first 3 years, it was really difficult for me to read. And any kind of fiction was, I mean, it took me years to read just one book. So, I mean, I've come a long way and that I can read now. I can read anything I want. So, I thought I would show you the books that I like to read, things that I'm into right now. Have a poetry book, Songs with Our Eyes Closed, by Tyler Kent White, and I think he's somebody who, he writes on a typewriter. I think he's the one who writes on a typewriter. Yes, yeah, there he is. He's got his typewriter there. Yeah. His poems are really, they just have a quality that's almost cinematic, and I like that. They just have, even though they're poems, they just feel like you're watching a movie. It's really different. And maybe it's just the effect he gets from being on a typewriter and typing slow. It's different than like typing on computer. It has a different feel. Because I actually took a typing class and typed on a typewriter. That's how old I am. Okay. Oh, enough about that. Um, this is a book called Murder is Binding. It's a murder mystery, and this one has recipes in it. These mysteries, they usually have like extra stuff. Like some of them are craft mysteries, and I've read some of those, and I didn't like those at all. They're too silly. This one's actually pretty good, and I'm actually laughing out loud, and not because it's poorly written. It's actually written really well, and there's funny characters in it. So I really like this book. I definitely have to read more. Almost, I'm, I'm past halfway, I think, or maybe I'm exactly halfway. I don't know. And it's got a bookmark. Um, this one is by Austin Kleon. He's the one. It's called Keep Going. He wrote Steal Like an Artist, and I still have that book. It's up on my bookshelf up there. But I have one of my bookmarks in here. I made the bookmarks for my shop, and there was a technical issue. The paper started peeling. The paper I glued to the back started peeling off. So I'm like, I can't sell those in my shop. That's fucked up. It's not going to work. So those are out of commission for right now. I have to figure out how to fix them. Make sure they don't do that. But this one's held up pretty well. So I don't know. I had different materials I used for the other ones. I used watercolor pencils and acrylic and stuff. Okay. Aha. And this is the one. This is another thing. If I tell you about this, all the snobs out there, they're gonna be upset. I don't care though, because I enjoy reading these. This is a book by Sandra Brown. She's known for writing more like mysteries. I guess they're mysteries. Or they're like courtroom dramas. I don't know. Something with like that kind of genre. But before that, I guess this is what she wrote. She wrote Breakfast in Bed in 1983, and it was republished in the 90s for the silver signature edition of Love Swept. Unfortunately, Love Swept is not around anymore. This is by Bantam Books, and they don't have Love Swept anymore. I guess it went out, like people didn't like that kind of writing anymore. I don't know. You can't even find this kind of book anymore. I mean, like I saw maybe they had like 50 Barnes and Noble. They had like shelf full of Harlequins, and it was the only brand. They didn't have any other type of brand. It was weird. So, what I did was I bought a bunch of these for like $15 off of eBay. So I have like probably at least 30 or more of these, and I thought I would like read them, and then if I really love them, I'll keep some of them, and then others I'll trade with people or something. Maybe even sell them on eBay. I don't know. But I mean, really, I paid nothing for them. I don't even think I had to pay for shipping for these. But this book is really a lot of fun. Um, First one of these I ever read had to do, I think it was by a woman named Linda Warren. I have it. I'm not going to look for it right now, but maybe I'll write about it on my blog. That one had to do with a rodeo, a guy who was in the rodeo, or he was a bull rider or something like that. And what I really loved about it was the averageness of the characters. Like, that's the only way I can describe it. Like, they were real people. Like, I could really see these people, and it felt like a movie or a TV show. I mean, I really enjoy that kind of writing. I mean, I also enjoy classic work, and I mean classics, like that you read like when you're in school and stuff. And I enjoy reading like mainstream fiction, literary fiction. I like everything, but right now, during this time of thinking of this person that I really am attracted to, it's easier to read something like this that's fun and kind of takes you into a world of lovers and all that's on people's mind is sex, and that's what I need right now. So I just need my mind to be on that, and that's healthy. And there's lots of people who really shun the idea of not reading that kind of thing, because they're snobs. But it's like, don't knock it till you tried it, buddy. Actually, men usually don't read those. They read something else. Like they read something else, something you can't get at regular bookstores. But I actually read something that said some men secretly read romances. They read not maybe not these, but they read the regular romances, like by Nora Roberts, that kind of thing. But they just don't tell anybody. I read that in a book on how to write a romance novel. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, really? Are guys reading romances? But I like the skinny ones because they get right to the part you want. They have a little build up and then they go right to the sex part, and then it kind of goes down, and then there's like the sex part, the big aha, big moment. Um, they're special. They're special stories, and this one takes place in a hotel. That's really cool. The woman owns a hotel, and her her best friend is getting married, and the best friend's the man that her best friend wants to get married to comes over and stays at the hotel on his own. So you can imagine how this is going, right? So I don't want to spoil it for you just in case you find it somewhere. Um, but it's really it's opened my eyes and my heart in a way to writing that I haven't really felt um, in a long time. And so in July, this is July actually, it's July 1st, NaNoWriMo, there's NaNoWriMo National Novel Writing Month is at camp. It's Camp NaNoWriMo. So it's like the November one, but it's a little less formal, I guess. There's less people that participate, but that's only because not everybody knows about it. And I just joined it. It's free, you don't have to pay for anything. They have like a donation thing. I think they give money to a reading and writing program for schools and that kind of thing. So it's a good thing. I've donated before. Sometimes what I do is I buy from the store. They have like products and stuff. I prefer to do that. And I'll probably do that this year too. But anyways, I've always wanted to write a novel. I attempted it when I was 13, and like around, I don't know, 26 or 27, I wrote a novel in verse, and I finished that. I did that for National Novel Writing Month, but I didn't get to 50,000 words. I got to 25,000. And that one I consider finished, but I won't publish it now. It's a piece of junk. It's terrible. I've tried figuring out how to rewrite parts of it, and some of the parts are so brilliant. I can't believe how great they are. And other parts, I just don't want to. I don't want to write. I don't want to share them. So they're just. It's like it's really a mixed bag. It's almost like I want to take some of the characters and put them in some other book, and then like some of the characters I don't care about, so I just want to leave them alone. I don't know if anybody's ever had that. If you're a writer, I'd love to hear what you think about that. If you have ever written a book and you had characters that you like and characters you hate, and you only want to take them and put them in another story. I've never heard of anybody doing that. But I'm not sure I can do it because the story haunts me, and I keep thinking, oh, I can save the story. I know I can save it. And then it's like, oh, that scene is so terrible. I don't want it. And I've like gone back and edited through part of it. I haven't done all of it. But that was like the first time I tried NaNoWriMo. All the other times I tried it, I attempted, and I usually only got to like 5 pages before giving up. One time on my own, I wrote a novel. It's like a mystery novel. I got to 50 pages, and that one I ran out of steam because I had to look something up, and then like I was like, okay, this is gonna take a lot of research, and there's no way I'm gonna get it done, for NaNoWriMo or anything until I get the research done. So I was just like, I'm just gonna leave it because I wasn't even sure I really loved it all that much. It's the kind of thing like I felt like I was supposed to write. It was like a mystery, and I was like trying to write a mystery because I thought, well, I can make money if I write mysteries, kind of thing. Um, that's a bad reason to write novels because it's not it's not satisfying. I think when you write, you should write something that you really love. And I've been writing these twin flame tarot tales. They're tarot readings, but to me, tarot is storytelling. I don't know if you can really tell the future. I think you can set up possibilities, and it gets you thinking about stuff. And I think that's the beauty of it, is it helps you think and think ahead, and you can imagine things, imagine possibilities. And some people, they're Wiccan or pagan, and they have their own way of doing things. They do all sorts of things to get it so it's really fine tuned, and it's accurate. um I am not a psychic. I'm intuitive, so like I can kind of tap into energy. It's the only way I can say it. Like with these hats, like I'm sure somebody else is going to come up with the same pattern and it'll sell. So that's always what happens. I make a pattern and like two people buy it, and then like a year later somebody else makes it and it's like, you know. But like the messy bun hat, I talked about that last time. I'm the one who did that 3 years before it hit big. Nobody would believe me either. They're gonna be like, "Oh, I don't think so." Well, but I think now that I'm writing the Twin Flame Tarot Tales, those are short and they're special because they have to do with spiritual element. I kind of see it like how people write the Christian books, they write Christian inspirational fiction, there are these romances called sweet traditionals that tend to be Christian, where they don't even kiss, I think, at the end. They just have a long love relationship, but they don't show any kissing, or maybe a peck on the cheek. I don't remember. It was something like very, you know, uh, there's like no sex at all. Um, it's more about the love and the friendship, I guess, the budding relationship between the people. I don't know. I don't really read that kind of thing because I want more than that. Like it needs to be more stuff in there. Um, I just raised my eyebrow. Oh boy. So now I want to write a romance novel. I'm picking from one of my twin flame readings that I've done, and I'm going to turn it into a novel. And I was thinking of introducing the twin flame element, soulmate element. It's not gonna have tarot card, it's not gonna like say with the 8 of Cups and this, in this reading, or because it's not the same thing. It's really a novel. It's meant to let you in on two people's lives and see how they get together and how their relationship works. And I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just realized, I feel like my heart is in this. It's in writing love stories. I've always wanted to write love stories, even when I was younger. Like, the mystery thing came in my 20s, because I started watching Law and Order, and I don't know, I was probably watching Miss Marple and Midsummer Murders and all that kind of stuff, so I got into it, but it's not the same. It's not the same as, like, like romance. I mean, romance is beautiful. And, I've kind of lived vicariously. Um, I shouldn't say this. Damn incels will probably come after me. I'll tell you this, incels. You're a bunch of jerks, so you're not going to get anything from me. Except a big punch in the face. If you even think of... Never mind. Anyways, I have never had a relationship. Um, I mean, I've kissed, but that's it. And now I'm probably gonna get people, damn incels coming here and all this stuff. But you know what? They're just gonna get a slap in the face, and that'll leave them in a kick somewhere else probably. And so it's not up to them. It's not up to anybody but me when I decide to have a relationship with somebody. I actually wrote about it on my blog. I wrote, uh, let's see, I was 39 when I wrote it, and it's about um, staying celibate because you because that's what's going on, not because you want to, but more because you have to, and it's just a part of being. You have sexual urges, and you just have to just keep it. You keep yourself from heaving into the urges and being with somebody that you're just having sex with. I mean, I figured I waited this long, I might as well just be with somebody who I actually love. I don't want to just lose it to some some dirty guy. Like when I was 30, I dated a guy for 2 weeks, and all he did was talk dirty to me on the phone. He picked me up in a bookstore. In a freaking bookstore. I mean, you think that's safe, to be picked up in a bookstore. I'm like, oh, this will be fine. This guy was talking about us going to hotels, and I mean, he was just nasty. And I was like, look, dude, I am not attracted to you at all now. This is bad. Because he was actually kind of cute, but this really made him look ugly. So I was like, no, I'm not doing this. He was just not right. And then, I had been going to bars sometimes. I had met some guys that they were all married, um, or they had somebody. And now, I don't know what happened with this person, but I don't know what happened. But I'll just say, I think there's some stuff going on that, it's just a cycle, just a pattern, just a pattern. But I'm beginning to learn to love myself enough to know that I deserve somebody who's fully into me and is not splitting up their time between me and some other person. I mean, that's it. That's the bottom line. You wait so long, and you have to say, hey, I am worth more than being a side person. I am worth more than that. I am worth being the person. I'm worth being somebody's person. Somebody who's mine, and then I'm his. And that's how it should be for me. Not even just should, that's how I want it to be. And if somebody is screwing around with it, trying to figure out how many people they can get, how they can, oh, how can I kind of have fun with her and then be serious to her, that's screwy. Um, so, I'm just, I don't know. I'm just so tired of feeling like I keep following the dangling carrot. That's what I call it. That 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 thing that hangs in front of you. I know the carrot. I don't mean it like that. I don't mean like a guy. I mean more like the brass ring. I feel like I'm a horse and I'm following the dangling carrot. That's how I always feel. I'm running and running and running and running, and I keep running around the track and I'm following that carrot, and I can't get it. Damn carrot keeps going away. It keeps floating away or something, or it's snatched away usually. in my case, by the time I'm about to get it, it's gone. uh, so, yeah, I never thought I would say that I have never had a relationship on my YouTube channel. I probably am taking a big risk, but frankly, no one should be afraid to say that out loud. It doesn't matter how old you are or why you waited. I waited because I didn't want to get pregnant by somebody I didn't love. I mean, that's really why I waited. I was afraid I would be with somebody and then, like I would not really, I would get pregnant the first time I had sex with them. So, like, I was like, oh, I'm just not going to do it. I mean, forget it. It has to be somebody that I absolutely love. I don't have to get married to them, but I have to really love them just in case something like that happens. And, I don't know. The dangling carrot is just always there. It doesn't matter what it is. Relationships, um, business, anything. You can put it with anything. Health, that's another thing. Where like I feel like I'm getting really good on my health and then it's like bam, something else. But I think that's how life is though. I mean, if life was all perfect and you didn't have the dangling carrot, you'd probably get bored, right? I mean, look at cats. I mean, cats like chase those toys, like those, like people have a little rod and has like a little toy and they're like, ah, ah. That's how we are as people. We're that. We're always that way. uh, yeah. uh, well, this chat went longer than I thought it was going to, but frankly, I feel like the mental health community, I think the problem is there are lots of topics that are taboo, and I think sexuality is one of them. And there's all different kinds of facets of it. I mean, some people, um, have the urges and they're not able to stop themselves from being with other people, that kind of thing. But I don't have that problem because my body is like, I am not going to give it up to somebody that I don't love. That's it. And, there's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't matter why you are. Well, I don't like saying I'm a virgin because, frankly, mentally I'm not. I'll just say that. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. But um, I think losing virginity is more than just the actual sex. I think it's also mental and emotional and surrendering to somebody else and being vulnerable to them in a way that you're not to anybody else. And I think that it's a special thing. So I'm gonna say it's special. I'm gonna believe it's not just believe. I know it's special because I have people in my life that I look up to that have relationships. They've been together for 40 years or whatever. They've been together for so long, and they still have a great relationship. They still are able to talk to each other about things that they love, and they do the other stuff too. Um, and it's just amazing, like that people can be in love for so long. I mean, I don't know if I'm looking for somebody for like 40 years, but I'm looking for somebody who's like serious about being in a monogamous relationship. So if somebody is not serious about that, then I'm not interested in them. Doesn't matter how attracted I am to them. If it seems like that's not what they're interested in, and they're not interested in that, then there's no reason for them to even bother contacting me. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So, okay. It's almost 45 minutes now. And I've been talking all this time. And You know, a lot of the times when I do these videos, I find more and more about myself that I like about myself, and I start getting more confidence in myself, and I start thinking, you know, maybe this thing with the twin flame journey is about finding yourself. Um, there's a reader, I don't want to mention her name because I don't really know her. I don't know her like as a friend, so I don't want to mention her, but she has said things about being, you find the masculine and feminine in yourself during the journey. That's one of the things that's special about the journey. And I believe that. I mean, I feel like I have kind of found both of the masculine and feminine in me. And I'm seeing, like, I have the tenacity, but I also have the softness to be receptive. You have to be able to give and receive. You have to have both. I think you have to have both in you before you can really give and receive properly to somebody else. And if you don't, if you're not into that, you're going to have a bunch of problems. You're going to have a lot of miscommunication. You're going to have a lot of crap that you don't need to go through to have a relationship. There should be some sparks. There's going to be arguments at times. There's going to be things you disagree on, but it can be overcome. Any of the crap can be overcome. So, okay, now I'm going to sign off because I have been talking all this time and you're probably really bored with me. And so, I just want to say a few things before I go. I'm Sketchwriter Jess on Instagram. I have all sorts of different things on there. Mostly now it's been about promoting the videos, but if you look further back in, I have some artwork and I have some other things. Some things that I'm thinking of introducing into the store. So I have like some poems on there and that kind of thing. They go along with the twin flame journey, I guess, but they're really more, excuse me, they're more like what I call hard love poems. Like they're like love lost, love found, kind of like all put together. It has like erotica thrown in, but it's all written in that clean way. So like if your little kids saw it, they wouldn't be like, oh my god, you know. They would be like, Mommy, what's that? You know. They would just be like, okay. So so I have that. And then every Thursday I put new things in the shop. Now I've been I've been putting new readings in there, the twin flame readings. And I'm thinking maybe even put some of those hard love poems in. That might be something. I have artwork and that kind of thing, and I'll show the artwork to you on Thursday. I have one that I've already made the draft for. I just have to make the promotion copy for it. Like the picture for Etsy and all that, because I have an Etsy shop. Sketchwriter Jess on Etsy as well. I have a blog, sketchwriterjess.com. And I am on other platforms. Twitter, I'm Jessica B. Hensley, but I think now it says Sketchwriter Jess. So if you type in Sketchwriter Jess, I should come up. I think, but the actual @ is Jessica B. Hensley, so I'm @ Jessica B. Hensley, not Sketchwriter Jess. Pinterest, I don't even use it that much, but I guess you could follow me on there. I'm JB Hensley, SWJ on there. See, Twitter, Facebook. Oh, Sketchwriter Jess on Facebook as well. So I got all of them. I covered all of them. I don't know. I plan on doing this every Monday, having books to share and knitting to share. If I have some crochet, I may throw in some crochet as well. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Love to know what you think in the comments about whether you've written a book and you had characters you want to put in another book, and you had other characters you want to throw out, and you just want to leave the story behind. I never had that happen before until I realized that now. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow for Twin Flame Tuesday. Bye.